Good day.
Good morning.
Good morning, yeah. Can you tell me who you are and why you're here today?
Right, my name is Clarke. I am the CEO of an organisation called R.A.F.F.A International Development Agency. The organisation itself pretty much deals with disparities and inequalities across the black community, and I will say black community. We have for many years. We've been going for 20 years now, and from that time we've been responding to disasters, the inequalities that we see around us, and basically getting the community together to find the solutions, because we feel that the solutions are within our communities. It's just navigating the way around it.
So how does this organisation start? Who started it?
Organisation started, it's an interesting one, started by the church, a discussion that took place in Johannesburg, as I say, some 20 years ago, when it was around the time where there was inequalities of HIV/AIDS and testing on black people, and them seeing the poverty and the disparities certainly in the African continents, and basically saying that we needed to come together as a community to support ourselves and to support each other. So the leaders who were based in the UK had a discussion and decided that they wanted to create an international development agency to respond to those kind of disasters. So it was born in 2006. R.A.F.F.A was born, and we are now a registered charity as well as an organisation, and we operate nationally and internationally. So nationally, within the UK, we look at what the issues are, whether it be inequalities in health, the criminal justice system, you name it. We will look at what we can do as an organisation to go to those communities and get the communities to come up with those potential solutions, as opposed to us just sitting there waiting for funding to get things done, because when the funding runs out, you find that things just stop. We wanted to find sustainable models to make sure that we could see the development and the improvement in our communities, for our people, by our people.
And how have you found it? How have you found it?
How have I found?
How have you found the things that you've been trying to do? How have you found, where have you got to now?
Okay, so we've huge advancements, and it's interesting because R.A.F.F.A stands for Renewal, Advancement and Financial Freedom Autonomy. And it's a bit of a mouthful, but actually those words are practical. So when you say where have we got to, I would say that the fact that we've been going for 20 years with very little funding and we've been self-sustaining, advanced lots of organisations, groups, individuals as well. And for example, if I give you a couple of examples, we have contributed to research in the NHS. We have reduced, I would say that we've contributed to reducing inequalities by training our people to go out and do things like health checks, going into the communities, going into the churches and the various voluntary groups, and really to do things like just simple things like taking blood pressure, for example, identifying where people have high blood pressure and then signposting them to their GP. Those things I find, are, this is us doing it for ourselves, not waiting. And typically people they can't even access a GP appointments and things like that. So we are being proactive. So I think that things like that, Windrush, for example, I myself I was honoured actually to have discussions with Wendy Williams around the recommendations and to actually answer questions about whether I felt the Home Office were making serious improvements and were authentic in their approach to the Windrush situation. And it was good for me to be able to do that. I have been on this Windrush journey with the Home Office pretty much since 2018, since it broke. And I have seen some really stark instances of inequality. People waiting for in excess of 20 plus years to get a British passport, people who have never even left this country. And it's just, those things are ridiculous. But it takes organisations like mine to actually support people to address those issues and to talk about them. The people who are affected don't really talk about it. They, some of them hide because of fear of reprisals and stuff like that. It needs organisations like ours to be their voice, to support them through that process. So the benefits, I can see the benefits, I can see the advancement, I can see the improvement, and I can see that things are changing, but I don't feel that it's changing at the rate that it should. And I think that that is primarily around the fact that we don't collaborate as a people. I think there is definitely unity and strength, but until until we trust each other, let alone the people who are actually doing things to us, we have to trust each other and find the strength that is within us. And I think it's going to take a lot, and that's why you asked me why I'm here today. I've travelled from London, or from Essex in fact, to Manchester to be here because I want to be the change that I want to see. I want to make a positive contribution to what's happening.
I know really quickly about the passports and stuff. It took me 39 years to get my passport.
Well, I will tell you, it took my son who was born on an aeroplane. He didn't get his passport until 2018.
Really?
He is now 45 years old.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, so I know exactly what you do. So it's important.
It's incredible. He's never been to any other country, but could not get a British passport.
Yeah.
It's just,
and he had a birth certificate and everything.
Well, even that was a difficulty because he was born on a plane. You know, there was all sorts of, and there were complications around it. However, because of the laws and you know, and birthright and how you could be, you know, how your citizenship was defined, he couldn't get a British passport. But you know, as I said, if you want to find out about, if you want to say what are the benefits, well, the success story is that he got it.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, thank you ever so much. Nice one. No,
Welcome.
seriously, thank you.